the world needs Superman now more than ever. James Gunn hinted at it, Marvin. You said you liked what he said, that this bloody and broken Superman represents our country, but also the world. I don't know if you guys have seen the reaction to this trailer, but it is proof of that. I don't think I've ever seen a reaction to a movie trailer quite like this. And it's not just excitement or like fan enthusiasm. It's like, it seems deeper than that. It feels like people have like genuine hope, and not just in the movie. I've watched a lot of reactions to it, and I've seen people talking about it on Twitter too. There are like grown men, people who aren't Superman fans, comic book fans, like watching this and like crying. Like they feel it. There's like a palpable emotional connection here, and it's not just coming from like the hardcore Superman fans, but from like everybody who's watching it. And it kind of feels monumental. I just think there's like a heart to the trailer that's like resonating with people, it seems.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go too off the rails with excitement, but I'm kind of like all in on this. I think James Gunn's going to kill
He's
it.
all in.
I think it might be one of the
You've
best.
been all in, buddy.
One of the things that stood out to me with this trailer is that it never shows the title of the movie. And I don't know if you guys noticed that. And
I didn't, but that's
and it's interesting because it's not necessary, because that logo is arguably one of the most recognizable icons of human history. It stands toe to toe with the Jewish star and like Santa Claus. Like it's
Mickey
everybody.
Mouse.
Yeah, everybody knows it. I want to put something in context. So in 1938 is when the world was first introduced to Superman, right? The first superhero. And he didn't just set the bar, he created it. And every superhero we know today owes something to Superman. And over the years, he's like always maintained what he started as, which is the symbol of hope, compassion, kindness, like all that stuff we've talked about.
Yep.
And
truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah, the old American way. And
yeah,
modern superhero movies, thanks to Christopher Nolan, is just a lot of darkness, like grim, gritty, morally ambiguous characters. They've dominated comic book movies for years now, but Superman has always stood apart from that, and he's a light in that darkness, which is why me and so many people have a problem with the depiction of him in Man of Steel and these movies. It's just not the character. It's not what he is. So even Marvel is a little bit guilty of the dark and gritty thing, right? Because they kind of like try to be realistic with it. It's not like depressing and morose like Man of Steel.
Grounded.
Yeah, grounded, right. If we go back to 1978...
Don't make me.
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, before that movie came out, the United States was in a tough spot. Like we were coming off of Vietnam and Watergate, and there was like economic turmoil. Corporate greed was running rampant in this country. And there was like a general, like real...
Thought the world was going to freeze.
There was like a real disillusionment in the United States, and people were tired and cynical, and like they wanted something to believe in. And in comes Richard Donner's Superman with Christopher Reeve. And it wasn't just like a blockbuster. It was literally like a beacon of hope for people back then. It reminded people of hope and virtue and, better tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's big shoes. I mean, we're not in all that dissimilar of a situation right now, societally speaking.
That's what I'm saying. Now, fast forward to 2025, the world is arguably even more chaotic than it was back then. We have political divides and environmental crises and social media amplifying every negative headline, and it's a lot. And once again, when hope seems distant, in comes Superman, because that's what he does. He lifts the world on his shoulders, even when it's dragging everybody down. And I know it sounds silly because he's a comic book character, but I feel like he's the only comic book character that transcends the comic books and like has a similar impact on our real world that he has in the comics. Even in 1938, when it came out, the Great Depression had happened and everything. When Superman came out in
World War II.
And then right into World War II. And then after World War II, guess what? The first live action Superman came out. Like he's been there for every like major global turmoil to bring us back. I just feel like, the reaction to this Superman trailer is proof that people are ready for it. It got over 250 million views in the first 24 hours, making it the largest trailer ever for DC and Warner Brothers as a whole. Think about that, okay?
Crazy.
The biggest trailer drop in the history of Warner Brothers. That's all of Warner Brothers, everything. And why is it doing so well? Well, because it's touching a nerve, right? The world feels grim. People are down. People want to believe in goodness. Superman embodies that. And this trailer seems to capture that essence perfectly.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head.
One of the boldest choices, I think, is how it opens. It opens showing him beaten and bloody and vulnerable.
Right, yeah.
And that means a lot, not just because of the whole like country thing, but like this isn't an untouchable, invincible God that people complain about it. One of the biggest complaints is Superman's too powerful. He's boring.
He's OP.
Well, for the most part, he is.
He's not,
when he's
though.
dealing with people and stuff.
In the comic books, he's not. He gets fucked up a lot in the comic books, and
I heard he dies.
but it's meant to. He gets beaten the fuck up because it's meant to show how he gets back up, and that's like the whole point of him. Yes, he's strong. He can move planets, but like he still gets fucked up a lot of the time. But it seems we're gonna be getting is a Superman who struggles, who suffers, who keeps going anyway. That's what makes him relatable and inspiring. That's what made another one not relatable and inspiring because he didn't get beaten down and get back up. He went to a church and was like, I don't know if I really want this. So it's a stark contrast.
To a church.
He did. He went to a church. And what's the second thing we see in this trailer? We see him save a child. Not with a punch.
Something simple.
Yep, not with a massive display of power, but just by shielding him, okay? Shielding her. And that's huge because it's exactly what Superman should be. Someone who protects and who cares and who puts others before himself. I mentioned the darkness of other superhero movies. It's Nolan's fault, 1,000,000%. Dusty made the joke, grounded. What's interesting here about this trailer, too, another thing that stood out to me, Marvel is like solely guilty of this. Marvel takes these heroes and puts them into our world. Whereas from this trailer, color-wise, the way the camera works, it feels very comic book-like. And it seems like...
It feels like the DC universe. It actually feels like the DC universe.
It feels like he's taking us and putting us in the superhero world rather than vice versa.
I see.
And that's why something like Crypto is going to work well, or a kaiju, or things that you wouldn't see in like a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. It's probably more comic booky than anything I've seen, probably since the Raimi Spider-Man movies, which are your favorites, Marvin.
Ooh.
This has very similar feel to those movies. I'm excited. James Gunn's been clear. This movie's about hope, optimism. It's why it's resonating. It's not about Superman punching through buildings or dominating his enemies. It's about humanity.
We've seen that.
You do see him
We
punch
know he
through
can
some
do that.
glass.
We do see him punch through some glass. But yeah, I don't know. Superman can kick ass, but at his core, he's about lifting others up, and that's what makes him timeless. And I know it sounds cheesy because it's just a movie and it's just a trailer, but I think something special is happening here, and it's not just the trailer, it's not just marketing. It actually feels like a cultural type of moment, like kind of what maybe like Barbie was, or when Wonder Woman came out, or Black Panther. Like those were, I would say, big cultural moments. I think it's because he's just not a character. He is a symbol in a world that's like drowning in cynicism constantly. We need symbols like him more than ever, and maybe this movie will just remind us of that stuff.
Your excitement is making me more excited for this. So
well, that's good. I'm excited because I love Superman. Go watch some reaction videos. They're like the most random people on the planet are like crying. I don't know if they're just putting it on because it's like a reaction video, but like people seem to be genuinely affected by it in a positive way.
yeah.
So I'm thinking like, maybe the movie could just, because like the world sucks right now. If you go on social media, it's like just vitriol constantly on Twitter, back and forth about everything. There's just so much negativity about everything. It's not just politics anymore. It's everything. I go on like hockey.
Everything is political now.
I go on hockey Twitter. It's like, man, I can't believe Kreider was scratched today. Yeah, because you're a stupid. Like, it's like, what the holy shit? That's just all it is.
That's amazing.
Maybe this movie will remind us what we can be individually and collectively, because that's what makes Superman not just relevant, but essential. I really do think this movie is going to usher in like a new age of comic book movies that will redefine the genre. Like we had the MCU like redefine the genre for a time. I think this is the next defining moment. I mean, it just doesn't get better than this. Look at this. Crypto. It just really doesn't. Like drags him home. It's so good. And there it is. Like that's Superman, man.
There it is.
It's just, that's so good. The kid raising the flag is just, that really did me in. Look at this. Superman.
Yeah.
He hears you, kid. Don't worry. He's coming. He's coming for you.
Yeah, that does hit.
Bring back ungrounded films.
Please, God, I want to be taken to a world of fantasy. Real life is shitty enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, folks, what you thought of this Superman trailer. Are you excited for it? Do you hate it? What do you think of the suit? Some people don't like the suit. That's actually the only bit of negativity I've seen outside of a certain fandom, is that
the suit, huh?
People aren't too thrilled with the suit, but I think it looks good actually on screen. I was worried about it, but on screen it looks good, I think. We'll see.